So I put this roof on in 2016, 3/4 inch snap lock standing seam. There were a lot of plumbing fixtures. There's some correct ones there. Now here's some that are also booted correctly in the pan. Now you're going to see some that are not booted correctly that I thought were correct on the standing seam. You don't lap them like that. They got to go flat, and you normally make a pan, elevated pan. There's a guy on YouTube that shows how you correct it. What I decided to do was a minor, just a diverter, and because these boots are on really good, they just leak around the seam. And so you're going to see where I did a diverter, which would be the top part of a pan or elevated deck. And so there you go. I put mastic down and some nice screws, and I'm going to follow up with some caulking, some really good caulk. And there's what it looks like, kind of drawing it out on the second one. I only had two that I did incorrectly. Going to leave those boots on and just make some diverters and not really complete the bottom side of the pan at this point. Just say experiment. A little more detail there, using the proper screws. Okay, so I'm going to go a little simpler route and just test it. I'm not going to build a box. Guy, you know, typically you'd rip the boot off and build a box and then put a circular one on top. I'm going to go ahead, because these boots, I got them in there so good. I got some new caulk. I'm going to dig that out and caulk around it. But the most important thing is this diverter. I went ahead and set some mastic tape a little farther back to give me a bead, so I can put a bead of caulk on both edges. And I use washered screws, self-tapping screws that I've used throughout this project. 44, yeah, how many squares? 22 squares or something like that. But I put this roof up, I put these solar panels up, and it's been 10 years on the roof. And and you also look, there's stuff like rusted stuff that was supposed to be galvanized, and it's just cheap. So these washers, that's another project for maybe in a few years, figure out how to deal with that. But again, this was just about putting these down, setting some mastic a little bit back, and just making some diverters where I incorrectly booted the ridge on snap lock. Thank you for watching.